things come to us based on our level of awareness. So you ever read a book and then go back to it years later and say, I don't remember reading any of that. Well, that's because your level of consciousness wasn't at that point to even comprehend it when you read it. So it's similar to the same thing. You're going to look at the cover of this book. You're going to look at this woman here and this spirit here, and you're going to say, okay, now I really know her. See, I thought I knew her then, but now I really know her, because none of us are stagnant. None of us should be like stagnant water. We should always be fluid and flowing and in a state of evolution and change and transformation, always. And that's the most beautiful thing about this book is, unlike a lot of books, Maya Angelou talked about when she first started publishing her art, her work, she said, I really regret that I published my work as early as I did, because it actually solidified my personality. And people thought they knew me who did not know me. They didn't know me as a changing, transforming being. So I got stuck in that, and people would define me based on my previous writings. So the beautiful thing about this is it is very organic, and it speaks to a journey. How many of you like silver? Okay, silver. We love silver, but silver has to be polished, right? Because if it sits and it oxidizes, it loses its luster. It no longer has that appeal to it. The soul is the exact same way. You have to polish your soul on a daily basis. Otherwise, it just looks ugly. Nobody's ever going to wear it. You're going to store it in a drawer, and it's going to stay there, right? You have to polish your soul. So I want to talk about what that means. So healing me for me. Iwosan me for me. Healing me for me. See, this title is not just for those who can read English, but for those ancestors who could never read, those ancestors who spoke their own native tongue. So this is dedicated to much more. It's not just about those who are here now. It's about those who came before, because those are the ones who gave her something to stand on. Those are the ones that's where she comes from. That's a product of who she is. So that's what that means. That's why that's so incredibly important to have a title that reflects your past, your present, and your future. Ashe? Orisha be born of the forces of nature. Listen to that. Born of the forces of nature. Now imagine you grow up in a community and everybody knows your name and knows what it means. They're going to make sure you fulfill your destiny based on what your name means. So a person who dejects or who mistreats nature is doing what to themselves? Right? And we are very much one with nature, whether you're conscious of it or not. The trees, the beautiful trees that you see when they start to bloom in the spring, that's your lungs. The rivers, that's your veins. All of these things are reflective of who you are as a being. Oyin. Now, one of the reasons she was given the name Oyin means honey. If you know Christy, if you knew Christy, honey was very difficult to come by. Okay? Her speech, lemon just didn't look good on this cover. So, but she was given the name Oyin because she has really transformed. And those of you who have known and watched Oyin through her journey, and the journey continues, you know that Oyin has really transformed in a lot of ways. And in many ways that most people can't acknowledge because they only know the old Christy. You can find that with any of us in this room. You know people who know the old you, and that's all they know. They don't know your struggles. They don't know how you transformed and how you've made it to who you are today. But today you're going to get to know, by purchasing this book, this gift, you're going to get to know what a transformed being looks like. What it took for her to go through that transformation. And it was quite a journey. I mean, because like Miss Goodwin's mom would say, when you have lemon, when you have a lot of bitterness, you make lemonade. Right? That's what we did with this. We just sweetened up the lemon a little bit, right? And added honey to it.